Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Portugal Makes Sense Conferences. This panel will address new energy charging solutions. Please welcome our moderator, Jörg Heinemann, CEO of Mercedes-Benz Cars Deutschland, which will be speaking about innovating in EV charging systems, mobility in alternative energy sources.
Hello. Hello, everybody. We are here today on this panel to talk about mobility and EV charging systems, or in general, let me say, changes in mobility and propulsion of mobility. And why do we do so? Why are we all here? Because of pictures like this, or pictures like this, or pictures like this that you all might have seen over the last decades, which pushes us in society as humanity to look for new solutions, to look for new answers of how we want to provide mobility to the world. And this panel here has gathered today because here we have gathered people that do not want to be like these golf players here, that don't even realize what is going on around them, nor do they want to be these people that just look at what is happening, but rather find solutions. And we have a great panel here today of people that have solutions, that have ideas of how to bring mobility to new stages and not to go on with business as usual. The mobility industry has moved into new propulsion forms. And it's just by coincidence, of course, that I've chosen this brand here today. You would find others, of course, also. But let me just finish my introduction by saying, in general, for mobility, we have three forms of possible drivetrains. We have the PHEV, or plug-in hybrid electric vehicles, which is a combination of carbonized engines and electric drivetrains. We have the full electric BEV, as we call them, battery electric vehicles, and we have fuel cell or hydrogen, which is also a very important topic here today on the stage. And Your Excellency, Minister Faustino, will also talk about that quite explicitly. Whom do we have gathered here today? First of all, and now we have to switch the order. Sorry, the picture is not representing exactly how we sit. I would like to start with Her Excellency Minister Faustino of the Portuguese government. Faustino, who will give us an introduction on what Portugal has provided to the world already, one of the most advanced countries actually in changing its whole electricity system into more decarbonized systems. Quite interested to hear what you will say to us today. Then we have Jorge Martins from REN, giving us a very new and innovative idea today on how to directly tap into the high power voltage charging systems across the world, if possible. Then we have Ivan here from FSEC, one of the most advanced companies in providing charging infrastructure. And then we have Bruno Faustino here to talk about hydrogen and hydrogen possibilities. But now I would like to hand over to Her Excellency Minister Fortunato. I am really happy to have you here today as our first speaker, talking about the Portuguese advances in electrification and new forms of mobility.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Muito boa tarde. I would like to compliment all the participants on this panel, and also I would like to thank Hannover Messe organization for inviting Portugal to become a partner country for this event. As far as I know, this is the first time that Portugal is a partner country in Hannover Messe. So let me start by saying how important is this round table. As you know, Portugal is strongly committed with the National Hydrogen Strategy that was approved by the government in 2020 after a public consultation process. So we have a national plan that includes the vision of the policymakers, but also the vision of the citizens, the industry, the enterprises, our academic and scientific communities, involving all the stakeholders. We believe everyone has a say when it comes to the decarbonization and energy transition and to a Europe that we want greener, more sustainable, more resilient and better able to cope with climate changes. Our national hydrogen strategy aims to contribute to the purpose of the national and European decarbonization goals, introducing an element of incentive and stability for the energy sector, promoting the gradual introduction of hydrogen as a sustainable pillar and integrated in a broader strategy of transition to a decarbonized economy, as well as a strategic opportunity for the sector and for the country. As we all know, the European Commission urges us to commit and fulfill the Green Deal, which states that the decarbonization path is an important road to follow if we want a more efficient Europe regarding the use of our resources. In that sense, we, in Portugal, aim to achieve carbonic neutrality in 2050, and for that to become a reality, we need to support new products, new services, new opportunities for science and for the economy, new synergies that provide a solid framework for all promoters with hydrogen projects in progress or at an early stage, enabling them to be consolidated into a broader and more coherent strategy. We want and we need to gradually invest in the production and the incorporation of renewable gases, with a focus on green hydrogen so that we can transit to a decarbonized economy, namely the decarbonization of the industry sector, heavy transportation and the entire natural gas network. Our national hydrogen strategy sets a group of goals until 2030 that are 5% green hydrogen in final energy consumption, road transport and industry, 15% green hydrogen injected into natural gas networks, 50 to 100 hydrogen filling stations, between 2 and 2.5 gigawatts of hydrogen production capacity. 2 years after the approval of this hydrogen strategy, one thing we know: the objectives and goals set are below the national reality, and we know today that we are all well positioned to go behind these goals. In this sense, we still soon start a review of the strategy in line with the review of the National Energy and Climate Plan, which will reflect the successful path taken in the last 2 years, as well as renewed ambition in the face of national potential, and which will decisively contribute to strengthening the national ambition on energy and climate. To achieve these goals, we are already working within the scope of Portugal's Recovery and Resilience Plan. We support projects that develop the production of gases of renewable origin, as well as tested technologies that are not yet sufficiently disseminated in the national territory, both aiming at self-consumption and/or injection into the network to reach 264 megawatts of renewable gas production capacity. We want to promote and support, namely through Portugal Recovery and Resilience Plan, what we call the decarbonization of industry through 4 axes: introduction of new processes, products and business models, including new low carbon technologies, new raw materials, waste fuels and biomass, industrial symbiosis and circular economy measures incorporating innovation and the replacement and/or adaptation of equipment and processes for new sustainable technologies and renewable energy sources. Second, the adoption of energy efficiency measures to industry to reduce energy consumption and greenhouse gas emissions, and the adoption of monitoring and consumption management systems that allow managing and optimization energy consumption. Third, incorporation of renewable energy and energy storage. Fourth, support the training of companies and the development of information and support tools to identify effective technological solutions specific to the national industry and cost efficiency. Finally, let me just say that we approved the foundation of a collaborative laboratory, iLab, Green Hydrogen Collaborative Laboratory, that gathers a group of higher education and scientific institutions and several national energy companies. Altogether, they are promoting a close cooperation between the scientific research and the industry to develop the hydrogen economy. This collaborative laboratory will work in 4 main areas: hydrogen production, hydrogen transport, distribution and storage, final uses of hydrogen, promotion of partners and new business models in the context of the hydrogen economy. This is a fine example in how the Portuguese scientific and technological system is vibrant, like the Portuguese Prime Minister mentioned days ago, with 41 collaborative laboratories already in place, high-quality human resources with qualifications above the European average, with the highest rate of recent graduates in engineering inside the European Union. In a time when Europe is taking measures to become more independent of international energy suppliers, in a time when Europe wants to be the first carbon-neutral continent and to promote a fair and sustainable transition to every single European citizen, this debate here at Hanover with you assumes a very special importance. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister Fortunato. A very strong political statement which puts Portugal at the forefront of European states in developing different forms of creating energy. And then, of course, now here in the panel talking about mobility, the question is, how do we bring that energy that Minister Fortunato spoke about into the cars? And we move over to Ren and you, Jorge, to give us an idea of what other possibilities we have to bring that energy from the high power voltage networks that are all across Europe into the cars.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Jorge Martins. Thank you for the opportunity, also for the government, the opportunity for REN to present a solution that may push forward the electric mobility to another level. Let's see. Okay. So the REN is the Integrated Electricity and Natural Gas Transmission and Distribution Group operating in Portugal, and we also have a small operation starting in Chile. Okay, so we are the transmission grid operator, as in any country there are several. So in Portugal we operate more than 9,000 kilometers of overhead lines in high voltage, 400 kilovolt, 220 kilovolt, and 150 kilovolt, and more than 1,300 kilometers of high pressure pipelines for natural gas. We also operate one LNG terminal and underground storage. And we do it enabling a renewable future. So just some numbers, we are considered as a case study. So just to let you know, we finished 2021 with 59% of national consumption of electricity was renewable, was generated in a renewable way. In the years before, we had several days with 100% of renewable for the generation and meeting the consumption. So we are above the average of Europe, which is 37%. So Portugal makes sense, and this makes sense talking about electric mobility in a renewable scenario. So in Europe, we see that the next decade, the EV adoption may induce significant impact in power systems, especially in peak demand. So if we look at the energy growth, the consumption, we can be around 6%, which is quite manageable for a transmission grid. But the problem is not the 6%. The problem is the peak demand. So people get home and charge at the same time. And the peak can rise up to 90% because people want to charge at the end of the day. So it's more a matter of power than a matter of energy, available power. Then some surveys show that in a consumer's perspective, the limitations are, the limitations for the EV transition can be associated to charging infrastructure. So the questions are, where can I charge my EV? Can I leave the city? Will I find a charger? Will I find an available charging point for me? Can I use an EV for long distance traveling, or should I have a small car EV for the city and a second car for the holidays? Doesn't make sense. That's not decarbonizing. Can charging be similar to filling the tank with diesel? Yes, so it should be faster. Faster, that requires more power. And can I charge my EV whenever I want, or do I have just to do it by night or during the morning or different time schedules? So from the charging point operator's perspective, the problem is more related to the investment part. So here, does the existing grid withstand new connection requests? Or does the distribution grid has to be reinforced mainly outside the cities because there is not enough power available? Can we wait for this, or will these projects and licensing and building and so on, all around the countries, will delay the uptake of the EVs? So that's a big issue. So in the ideal world, the growth of EV adoption needs high power spread nationwide, immediately available, and without charging restrictions, so that we can have more chargers per site and simultaneous fast charging. So I'm happy to announce we have a solution for that. So the solution is charging the EV directly from the transmission grid. How do we do that? Imagine all the big towers and the lines that go along with roads in any country in Europe and in the world. So we do a special connection to the line, a high voltage line, and then develop a concept that works, that we have built already one, that is a specific substation, high voltage, dedicated to electric mobility, where the key technology is the transformer that converts the very high voltage directly to low voltage. So imagine this pilot that I'm showing on the right-hand side, the figure, with FSEC EV charger, okay, that I'm showing, converts 220 kilovolt or 220,000 volts directly to 220 volts. So it's like filling a glass of water with a dam. So we found a way. So I will pass fast this part. Is related to some features applicable to high voltage networks. This is not applicable to distribution grid, just high voltage. It can be, this substation can be remotely operated, such as any grid substation, so it doesn't need people there. There is a residual impact in the transmission line reliability, so the last example, more technical, just to show that you can work on the high voltage line and still feed in one side or the other the fuel, which is electricity, to the substation. This is modular. I will show an example, so you can, and this scalability results in the reduced risk, investment risk, because today the problem is that there are not many EVs on the road. And you do a first module of the substation, like 1 megawatt, and then you can add up more transformers and keep the original line, so you can adjust the demand to the investment that you are making on the charging stations. Then one thing important is that the transmission grid has a high quality of service level, which means that the interruption times of electricity for the last 10 years in Portugal is all year, add up, all interruptions are less than 1 minute in all year. So the service level is much higher than usual, and this is the first time that we can deliver this to the final client. So this only makes sense if we use the existing lines. It doesn't make sense to build high voltage lines to do this, okay? So this is a sustainable use of existing transmission grid all over the world. We say that's virtually unlimited power. And why? Let me show an example. So if you charge 25 or 50 buses at the same time, full peak, or 80 cars or 160 cars with fast chargers of 50 kilowatts at the same time, that only uses 1% of the average power of a 220 kV line. So if you put 300 cars on the same site charging at the same time, you will use 2% of the power of the high voltage line. That's the secret. So that's why we call it unlimited power. So just an example, we have an existing line, we do the connection and install this. This is the symbol of the substation, not the full substation. So you convert very high voltage to low voltage and you feed your module 1. So you install 20 chargers, 30 chargers, 40 chargers. And then you need more EVs on the road, the demand, you just add up more transformers and do module 2. Then if you need module 3, the full parking lot of the airport, whatever you need. So in resume, this solution is available nationwide, so it enables to pass to the next step. So leave the cities with your EV and be sure that you might find a charger every 40, 50 kilometers whenever a line crosses the road. We did an overall analysis in Portugal, a small country, small analysis of course. If you cross the existing transmission grid with the main roads, you will find immediately today available 1,700 charging points. I wonder in Germany what would be the numbers, but maybe 5,000, 7,000 already available. You just have to install the substation, connect to the line, and do the electric service area with how many chargers you need. Fast ones, slow ones, mixed, so. Then another thing is socially, the companies that have their facilities, the bad luck to be under an overhead line. Now they are lucky to be under an overhead line because they can convert their fleet and electrify by using this kind of solution. So finally, applications. This is useful for highway service areas, public transport fleets conversion, large parking lots, so high power, logistics centers to charge the electric trucks in the future during the loading and unloading of the logistic. Large residential areas, because remember, majority of people don't have a garage, so home charging is not an option, so they need to go somewhere to feed in. Then special applications for decarbonization of river docks and the mobile solution to connect in the forest for the use, possible electrification of the forest machinery, so a mobile solution for that. So we think this is a new business for every TSO. And that supports the decarbonization of the transport sector in a competitive way by using the existing grid. This is available today everywhere. So what we are proposing here is to do something in the motorway that we did already 40 years ago in the railway. So it's not such a big deal. It's just a different idea or a different perspective of doing things. Okay, so thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Very well. Now, Ivan, we just heard how to get the electricity from the high power voltage lines down to the earth. How do we get it into the cars?
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Ivan Souza. I am glad to be here with this amazing panel, amazing persons. So I'm representing here, so it's not working. The test drive is not working, yeah. Every time I try to test drive. Yeah. Anyway, I will try to show you why the Portuguese technology makes sense. So in here I will present a very use case that we have in Portugal that we are exporting around the world. Okay? So about FSEC. FSEC have 10 business units and our main pillars is energy, mobility, environment, cities and digital connectivity. And with these 5 main pillars, for sure, FSEC will have a great future and stand-off point of energy. Looking to FSEC, we have a long history. We are in a market more than 73 years. It's a long journey creating products and creating value to your clients, and all the technology is Portuguese. So FSEC is very well known from products manufacturing, system integration, problem solver, and OEM service. Talking about electric mobility, that is my main subject. Talking about this subject around 10 minutes is quite a challenge, and I will try to do my best on it. So FSEC Electric Mobility have a long journey also. We started more than 13 years, and these 13 years we acquire a lot of information the last years. So we have products from home chargers to ultra-fast chargers, and in the end of 2019, it was a game changer for us because we have more than 10 years of data and we design a new roadmap. So we enter in a market with a new charging point management system, also new quick chargers and a new generation of ultra-fast chargers. So we never deliver EV chargers to our clients because we want to create value to our clients. That's the most important point for us. So we have solutions from public charging, private charging, quick charging, ultra-fast charging, bus charging, and of course, on top of it, in the top of the chain, we have the charge point management system in different kind of flavors. So FSEC produces chargers from AC to DC, but AC is not rocket science, so we explore, and our expertise is on DC chargers. We have more than 10 years of experience on this, and that's where we put our technology and where we can create the differentiation on the market. So we have products then from 3 kVAs up to 350 kilowatts. 350 kilowatts, 500 amps in continuous mode. This is a charger that is a real fighter against the time, so you can charge there very quickly. So you have a clear idea what is the main rules of the ecosystems. I put here one slide from Association Charge Up that explain very well what is the main rules of every player on the market. FSEC position in this chain is the hardware manufacturing, but for sure, because we have all this experience, we help our clients to create a better business, create differentiation, and so on. But all the players that we have in here, we work in the benefits to the EV drivers as the best experience and have the similar experience they have on the past from the gas stations. So remember that smart cities is the future, and we have different use cases, and I will highlight in the next slide some use case. And we start from the home chargers until the highways. Everyone is different and we can customize all the use case. So looking to this scenario that we have here, we have this implemented in Portugal and we are exporting this technology also around the world. This scenario is like a restaurant, a fast food chain. So in here, the people go there and charge like 30 minutes, 1 hour. And in this scenario, we have our new chargers, modular chargers, that can start to 60 kilowatts up to 120 is more than enough. You go hit a hamburger or something. And our chargers are connected to the EMS. So these kind of stores, they are producing energy and they have a system that also look and manage all the loads that they have in the building. So they ensure that is no cap on the power. So other things that we have the differentiation on our EV Core CPMS, we also allow the roaming connection. So this is one example of one restaurant chain in Portugal that we are using our new EV chargers. Looking to other part of the use case, that is the distribution center, this is a very different scenario because you can have scenarios like charge by night, fast charging, ultra-fast charging, and occasional charging. So in here, we have a solution that we can adapt for different use cases because we never know what is the cap of the power, and we can adapt to the scheduling of every truck or every buses. And we have a system that we call LMS, Local Management System, that can manage all the chargers on real time using smart meters. We bring this technology that we have from smart grids and we implement this in our chargers, and we have this framework, this layer that can apply and command all the chargers. So in here, I have a very short video with one project that we have done in Sweden with a very important truck makers and also a company that's very important. So I will show this very quickly. There are no sound. So in here, this project is in Sweden, and is a truck that do a long distance journey, and they are using our chargers. Of course, you are seeing that the FSEC charger over there, they can charge. Because you know, we have to adapt to different scenarios, because in this country, the weather is very aggressive, and we have to implement that to the chargers that features. So I don't have so much time, so I will pass this. You already see FSEC charger is the main point of the video. So looking to the supermarkets, it's also a very good use case. We have this also in Portugal, and how we can create differentiation. The scenario is almost the same, okay? We have EMS that can look to the load of the buildings and so on. But what we are doing here is our EV core system are integrated in the ecosystem of the client. So allow the client to create more value and differentiation to the market. So in this scenario, we have our system connect to a roaming platform, so allow other persons from other countries to charge in here. Also ERP and loyalty program for the clients, and also advertising. So this is one example of a very prestigious supermarket chain in Portugal that we supply the DC chargers and all the system integrated in their own system. Highways. Highways is quite a challenge, because everyone wants the same experience they have on the past. So they want to charge in 7-10 minutes. Right now, with the technology that we have, it's not possible, but we are doing the best. So in this scenario, we have ultra-fast chargers and quick chargers, and also allow the roaming, other persons that are visiting Portugal that can connect to the network. So this is some pictures, real projects that we have in Portugal, in the main highway, that we have our legacy products, that is a KC 50 kilowatts and one HV 160, and also the new products that we have. So you see a lot of things, okay, here. I have a video here, and I hope you really enjoy these use cases. I have a video in here that explain the user experience from an EV driver perspective. So we have a client in Abu Dhabi, and is the biggest network in Abu Dhabi and also in Dubai, and we deliver the full solution. We deliver the EV chargers, we do the consultants for the project, we help them to create a network, and also the system. And remember, when I talk in the beginning, FSEC is expert in integration. This system is not in the cloud, it's in a local cloud, and have local integration with fintechs and ERPs. Okay? Just look to this. It's a very good video. So this is the real experience that the final user have. They don't know what's happening behind, but they have all the connections, and all the system allow them to do everything. Okay, so this client that we have want to reach 100 chargers in the next couple of years. We are in a good way for sure. So I really hope that you enjoy what I've presented here. But the main thing is, the big question is how we can help the EV, the electric vehicles meet its potential. Of course, automakers help us, creating like a Mercedes, creating amazing cars they have. I am waiting for the Cabri one, okay? But the thing is, okay, we have to invest in a generation of energy from renewable resources. Because when I want to charge my electric vehicle, for sure, I don't want to see that we are generating CO2. That's the main point. And because of this, we create this kind of concept that we call e-hub, when we can have the generation of the energy, store of the energy, and the consumption of the energy from the EV chargers. Everything connected. That's our bet for the next years. So talking about next years, and because the future is around the corner and FSEC never stop to develop new products, talking about trends of the market, what is our vision about the market, what we are doing. So in short term and long term, okay, in short term we have, everyone have that buzzwords that's talking vehicle to X, vehicle to grid, vehicle to home. We have a pilot project in a small islands in Portugal that we are doing that. Smart charging, we have already that implemented and used it in very different countries. Another thing is plug and charge. That is the experience. If you don't know the experience of plug and charge, as you see in the video, you need a app to start charging. So the plug and charge is you just plug the plug to your car and the car do the authentication to the system. You don't need to do nothing. That's one thing that our FSEC already have in production in France. So for us is a trend, but we already have this implementation. And for sure, the future that we are seeing, as we see in the previous presentation, is the mega stations that we have in our roadmap for trucks and also for highways. I really hope that we enjoy. So FSEC have a booth here near Portugal makes sense. If you need anything, we are here to support you and talk about this subject. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ivan. We will now leave the area of electric propulsion in vehicles for a second. As Her Excellency Minister Fortunato already outlined quite impressively, there's also the hydrogen power ability or the hydrogen drivetrains in vehicles, mainly used today in commercial vehicles, but still with the possibility to also bring it down into passenger cars. And we are very happy to have you here, Bruno, now to give us an idea, because there again, the infrastructure, the question of how do you bring the energy to the customer is one of importance, and you have a solution, you brought a solution today of how this can be easily solved. Stage is yours.
Thank you. Hello, good afternoon, and thank you for the short introduction. I will start my presentation with a quick video about our company. Not everybody knows PRF, but this video explains a little bit of our products and what can we offer to you. And after, I will move straight to the point of the hydrogen refilling stations.
Over the last 3 decades, a lot has changed in the way we perceive energy, from the way we gather it to the way we actually use it. In all those steps, one thing matters the most. How can we make sure your energy gets to where it's supposed to be? And that's where PRF comes into play. PRF has been developing projects in several areas of the gas downstream sector, having already reached most of the continents, with subsidiaries in Spain, France, Angola, Mozambique, and Brazil, and headquarters in Portugal. Operating in the market for 30 years, PRF works in a partnership manner with its clients, building a strong, long-lasting, and beneficial bond for both parties. Our growth over the years has been sustained by solid standards, always striving for excellence in services. The recognized success achieved by our company relies on 5 pillars that sustain PRF growth: responsibility, solidity, the technological change drive, dedication to our clients, and an environmental responsibility sense. The continuous search for new solutions, new products, and new technologies available in the market allowed the company to remain at the cutting edge of the technology and know-how regarding fuel gases, presenting nowadays a unique range of value-added products and services. Our turnkey solutions cross all areas and include engineering and project design, regasification plants, refueling stations, LNG, CNG, renewable solutions, hydrogen and biogas, bunkering systems, support to gas distribution companies, gas regulation and metering stations, gas distribution networks, maintenance and assistance, metrology services, and Metro Mozambique in the LPG sector, cylinders requalification, storage, bottling plants, distribution, Progas Angola. PRF is not only a service provider, but also a certified equipment manufacturer, bringing its own knowledge to the way people produce specific components and systems that can maximize the potential of each installation. PRF has developed an online platform, WebCop, capable of monitoring in real time the installations per client request, bringing downtime and technical support to a completely different level. Being a gas service provider, we believe we have the opportunity and the duty to contribute to a better environment. Each time our partners create new ways of bringing cleaner energy to life, we also create new ways of getting it to where it's really needed, to people. PRF, move with us towards the future.
So, a little bit of our history. The video explains more or less, but we are a Portuguese company with 31 years of experience in the combustible gases. We started on the LPG, moved to natural gas, LNG, and more recently to hydrogen. A little bit of our history. In 1999, we did our first LNG installation in Portugal. In 2005, and since the topic is mobility, we did our first natural gas refueling stations in Brazil. In 2008, we expanded to the African market, to Angola and Mozambique, where we still operate. 2014, we did a pioneer project to get natural gas to Madeira Island to be able to produce electricity with a cleaner fuel to avoid heavy fuels to produce electricity. In 2017, we did the first bunkering project in Norway. We built and we installed the infrastructure needed to supply natural gas to ships and to replace heavy fuels of the ships. And since 2019, we opened a new business unit related to hydrogen and other renewable gases like biomethane. And in 2021, we installed our first refueling station and the first hydrogen refueling station in Portugal. So today, what we want is to expand and entering new markets. So here are the places and the countries where we already did projects. We have physical presence in Brazil, Chile, Angola, Mozambique, Portugal, Spain, and France. And the other countries, we already did some works. So, hydrogen scope. We can go all the value chain of hydrogen, since the concept or the idea up to the construction and operation of the various types of projects of hydrogen. We have grid injection, will be very important to replace natural gas with hydrogen, because we need to decarbonize our gas infrastructure. Obviously, hydrogen production projects, compression, and hydrogen refueling stations that are very important to be able to supply hydrogen to buses, local fleets, taxis, to decarbonize the transport sector. So, power to gas. We did a power to gas project in Portugal with a gas distributor, Galp or Setgas, is in Seixal, south of Lisbon. This project, with a brief summary, we have a PV plant in top of an industrial building. We have a small storage that gives us some autonomy with hydrogen. We have a dedicated 100% hydrogen pipeline till the injection point, and we developed the grid entry unit where we have natural gas, hydrogen, we mix, blend and analyze the mixture to make sure that everything is under control and with safety conditions. Is one pioneer project in Portugal, and the aim is to test the 20% of mixture in the gas natural grid. So some pictures of this project. It's called the Green Pipeline Project, and PRF developed all the equipment and install and commission, since the low pressure storage of hydrogen, till the injection of hydrogen and natural gas. So, power to mobility, the topic that we want to discuss today. PRF have 30 years of experience of natural gas, and we developed our own natural gas refueling stations. So all this know-how we applied with all the skills that we have to develop our hydrogen refueling stations that can be with on-site production through an electrolyzer or with off-site production and receive the hydrogen via tube trailer, for example. And to supply the hydrogen to the vehicles, we can have 30-50 bar for heavy and light vehicles, and 350 and 700 bar for heavy duty and light vehicles. So we can cover all the value chain since engineering, manufacturing, operation and maintenance. So this picture here, this is in our facilities in Leiria, in Portugal. This was when we tested our first portable refueling station. It's portable, we can install it everywhere in less than 4 hours, okay? And made possible for us to refuel an hydrogen bus manufactured also in Portugal. So we collaborate with Caetano Bus and other Portuguese companies to make hydrogen a reality nowadays in Portugal, and to be able to supply hydrogen and decarbonize the fleet of buses. This particular project was supplied and installed in Cascais municipality. Cascais is a small city, or a city near Lisbon, and it is a city that is committed to decarbonize their fleet. So they have electrical vehicles and now hydrogen-powered vehicles. Like I said, the solution that we developed, we call it Drive. Okay, we don't need civil works to put the solution in place. It's like plug-and-play solution. Why we start with a plug-and-play solution? In Portugal, we don't have any refueling station till the last year. So we want that the other cities, not only Cascais that did the first step, but we want other cities that can test hydrogen buses on their cities, on their routes, and to see by their drivers and their management that is a viable solution. In this picture, I choose this picture with two Toyota Mirais because our station is for supply hydrogen at 350 bar, but it's possible to refuel half filling of a Toyota Mirai with 350 bar. We work very closely with Toyota Motor Europe, okay, to get all the certifications and the approvals we need to our station be a good solution for hydrogen refueling to vehicles. This is like the version 1 or 0 of the refueling station, but we can adapt to have in the near future 700 bar also to light vehicles, or increase the capacity, for example, or if you add one more 20-feet container, we can have local production of green hydrogen in Cascais. But like I said, it's a temporary solution. Cascais is committed to build a fixed station and to buy more hydrogen buses. Some data of the refueling station, but I said more or less everything. Just one curiosity, since August, we already surpassed the mark of 500 refillings, okay? And we delivered more than 6 tons of hydrogen. So we are starting slowly, but we are decarbonizing mobility in Cascais. Another power to mobility project that we have in Spain, we are collaborating with Fusion Fuel. Fusion Fuel will produce green hydrogen in their location in Madrid, and PRF have the responsibility to compress it, store it, and deliver it to the vehicles. This presentation have a small error. It's not 700 bar yet. It's only 350 bar for heavy-duty vehicles. And like I said, Cascais is committed to have even more hydrogen buses. They plan to buy more 8, and they launched a tender to a fixed station that PRF won. So we plan to to be concluded in June 2023. We have another projects, not only grid injection or mobility. With fusion fuel, like I said, in Évora, Portugal, fusion will produce green hydrogen, and PRF will compress, store it. But in this project, we can have like 2 outlets. They have fuel cell installed, so they can produce hydrogen with the solar radiation, and at night, for example, produce electricity with the hydrogen stored, or refill tube trailer to supply green hydrogen to other refilling stations. There's some pictures of the installation is ready. We are doing testing and commissioning, and these are our main clients. We keep trying to get the list growing, but as you can see, they are big companies, big energy companies that are moving from the fossil fuels to greener fuels and to present greener solutions to their clients. So hydrogen is not the future, hydrogen is the present, and we have the projects in Portugal running. So I will present a quick video about these 2 projects that I mentioned here, Seixal and Cascais, to you to see.
We need energy every day. Energy to go further. To accomplish our projects. To fulfill our challenges. It is the energy that moves the world forward, and we leave a mark on the world with our actions. The world is constantly evolving, and with it, so is energy. As such, at PRF, we contribute to the energy transition with the fuel of change. Hydrogen solutions. A clean and safe energy without CO2 emissions. The energy of the future today, with positive impact on society and on the planet. At your side, in mobility, in industry, at home. We build the future every day, a carbon-neutral future, greener and sustainable. Our choices inspire the choices of others, and thus we change the world. Move with us towards a greener future.
So these projects fill us with pride since our Portuguese projects located in Portugal. So Portugal makes a lot of sense. Thank you for your attention.
Now, after these presentations, probably, George, starting with you, your solution as you presented and representing the Portuguese network of high voltage transportation, is this idea something that could be used in other markets also? Is it focused on Portugal and only works in Portugal?
No, the idea and our ambition is to export this idea. So we don't intend to do anything in other transmission grids. Okay, every country has its own. It's just to promote the idea. We have the patents all over Europe and under exam in Canada and USA. But we can license, and we are willing to support the implementation of this kind of solution. Okay.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah.
So, Ivan, the network is there. The electricity would come to you all over the place. Now, as we know from customers, the main challenge, of course, is to find charging stations. Still, you offer charging stations. What holds you from building many more? What are your obstacles that need to be overcome?
That's a very good question, okay? Because if I look the last 2 years, I can write a book about the challenge, okay? because as you start in the presentation, the world changed and we have to adapt. We have the COVID, the war, now the inflation, everyone printing money to solve the problems as soon as possible. And regarding the point of view of manufacturing chargers, for us it was, last 2 years, it was a very, very intensive challenge because regarding of the COVID, some factories stop and we don't have chips. So we have to redesign a lot of chargers. And this kind of process is very huge because we have to do new boards, after do new board certifications, and then put products on the market. So we have a delay on the market, some products that we have on the roadmap. That's one challenge. Other big challenge is the standards, because we export technology around the world. So we have technology in Europe and also in USA, and the metering standards now, because everyone is supplying the car by energy, so they have to pay the energy and the meters must be certified. So in Germany we have, I think, EITRED, I think it's the right name, yeah, calibration law. And also in USA, in California, they are starting the same thing. And other countries are looking to these 2 countries and saying, whoa, we want to do the same thing. So we have to adapt the technology, because the same thing in Germany is not the same thing in USA. And also Portugal are looking to this, France are looking to that. That's other point. Other things that we have a challenge and we are putting in our chargers is we want to build chargers with eco parts. Okay, so the new chargers, we are putting that, and also looking to the energy efficiency. Because you are supplying energy, we don't want to have losses on the charger, so much losses. That's the most challenge that we have right now.
Okay. So speed is of the essence. Harmonization of standards is quite important also for you, I understand. Could you outline a bit more, if I understand rightly, the mobile solution? Of course, mainly a speed issue, because it's much faster in an installment. Is it also cheaper? Is it also a more cost-effective way, probably to test out locations first of customer acceptance?
Yeah, exactly. The goal was to be able to have a solution so that can our clients test hydrogen vehicles, okay? Qashqai's made the first step with 2. We already have Toyota Mirais there. We know that we can buy a Hyundai Nexo also. So the market is here, the vehicles are here, and we know, like you can see in the Hall 13, Renault have a hydrogen vehicle also. So we invest in this kind of solutions. We can sell it or rent it, but the goal is to be installed quickly. We don't have yet hydrogen production in that solution, but if we can buy green hydrogen from someone, we can in 1 day or 2 days start using hydrogen vehicles. With the advantage that with this solution we can fulfill buses with 350 bar in less than 15 minutes with a range of 400-500 kilometers. Lovely. It's quite important.
Okay, so summing it up, and Her Excellency Minister Fortunato made it clear at the beginning, what you first need, of course, is state desire, state push for the change of energy production that we have, a very strong commitment by the Portuguese state, really being at the forefront of European states. Again, a big thank you for that from our side here. And then, as we have seen, wonderful technical solutions which are not only possibly used in Portugal, but all over the world. So we could sum it up by saying Portugal makes a lot of sense. Thank you very much for your attendance.